Welcome to the Economy of the Collapse, episode 1, our first full episode. So, today, for the first episode, we're going to talk about the collapse of free speech. And that's very important because we're talking here about the new C9, the new law that was dubbed C9. Most people know it as C9. And it's a law that is being discussed or portrayed, or the discourse around that is a little bit like apple pie. It's about combating hate speech, and of course nobody is saying we love hate speech. We need hate speech. We want to defend hate speech, and that's where I think the rhetoric is very problematic, because for those who were defending that bill that the Liberal brought forward, and that the Bloc Québécois has supported, and in a way I think we can say Bloc Québécois has been some sort of the traitor in there, helping the Liberal with a minority government pass such a fundamental a piece of legislation, and it's not like something that we can be surprised in a couple of years to say, okay, we haven't anticipated where this could lead. We can just look at what is happening in the UK, where people get arrested for a tweet, for a Facebook post regarding doubt or question about mass migration and its impact, the way that the country is changing rapidly, or simply by reading some Bible verse. So that's very problematic, because in countries that are organized around what we call the Westminster type of governance, where all of these countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, of course the UK, they all shared this monarchy that throughout history, as even if of course Great Britain doesn't control directly Canada anymore, and these other countries, we still have the king of England as the king of Canada. There's still like this apparatus regarding the executive, which allow the prime minister to concentrate a more power, and most people don't know that, but more power than the president of the United States can have, because of course there's more check and balance in the US compared to what we have in Canada. So what this allows is, once you have this legislation in place, the executive can pretty much, through policy, have this unrolling redefinition of what is hate. Today, reading the Bible is hateful, some verse, maybe more verse in the future, and at some point maybe it's just not possible to read it in public anymore. Maybe at some point it's even banned. It's a slippery slope. Where does it stop? As the immigration continues, when will we see a new reality of a country represented in parliament, and then again it could be whatever at the time is the definition of hate. So today in the UK, mass migration, questioning that is hateful. When will that be hateful in Canada? That could happen fairly soon. So So it's a big problem. I mean, you see in the UK, like there's a gang. They call that, like, I think, a rape gang or whatnot. I mean, the gang, mostly newcomers. I mean, it's a fact that are gang banging these little girls in the UK. It's happening in France also. Most women are scared to walk alone at night now. And these people, they get, I don't know, like 18 months or something, and they're released. In the US, there's even like a story today that I saw where for the fifth time, I think one of these rapists has been released, and he killed like a little girl. I think it's yesterday. So when you look at that, you're like, how is it possible that for a tweet questioning mass migration you get like a 5 years? And there's like various teacher and professor that because of their Christian belief have been arrested because they were not able, following their faith, to say there is more than two gender in the classroom, and now these people they sit in jail for longer than some of these rapists that are actually organized in gang and brag about that on TV. I mean, it's just like where are we going, right? At the same time, I mean, Canada is confiscating various firearms that hunters are using and whatnot. The amount of government overreach in Canada, in the UK, in Australia, and New Zealand is way higher than it is possible in the US because of the Constitution in the US that actually guarantees free speech and the firearms and whatnot. And someone can say, okay, that's not good. I mean, in the US there's too many firearms or whatever. I mean, you can have any type of argument that you want. It's not about that. It's about the fact that the Constitution protects the right of the pre-existing population that actually have organized these rights into a constitution. They say, oh, you know, we're creating a country, and those are going to be the rule of that country. In Canada, we don't have that. I mean, we have a Bill of Rights, but the Bill of Rights that stem from the 1982 repatriation of the 1867 Constitution doesn't protect the same way, and the way it's written, the court can always justify that in a free and democratic society, it's reasonable to infringe on these rights for A, B, C, and D, and the test is out there, and you can see some sort of a ratchet effect that rights are being eroded, always under the guise of free and democratic society. And if you think about C9, it's a little bit like that, because usually you should say, oh, I have in the Bill of Rights the guarantee of free speech, but now with this new law, they're going to say, oh, under the free and democratic society test, I mean, it's normal that we don't want to have hate speech in the country, and the law is lawful. So it's something that we have to be very, very cognizant of this slippery slope. It's on the speech, it's on the firearm. We're going to talk more about firearms in another episode. Today I just wanted to talk a bit about C9, but it's about also firearm. It's about land ownership. Also, they're going to attack that under the guise of the environment. They're going to track your carbon footprint and whatnot. Going towards some sort of a China type of system where they monitor, you know, what you do and what you don't do and whatnot. So that's something that is ongoing. And at the same time, you have all of the mass migration that is rising, house prices, and all of that, and that's something that isn't fully grasped properly by the population, and because of that, they're not able to really compare and see what are the policies that are being proposed to them for the next general election. And because of that, it creates an environment where the liberal, if they are able to stay in power for another 4 years through this little I'm choosing my word now with C9, but I mean, they're able to kind of get some members of parliament from other political party, proposing them various things so that they cross the floor and change party affiliation. So you have some conservative that suddenly become liberal, but you know, if they're able through that process to avoid the election and stay in power, you can think that in 4 years it's going to be a very different country through all of these pieces of legislation that are being put in place. So that's it for today.